All right, 18 minutes after 8 o'clock here on Morning Live. While the bus strike is still going full steam ahead, leaving thousands of commuters stranded and frustrated, of course, the 5 unions representing the bus drivers and the Southern African Bus Operation Association is starting their mediation at the Commission for Conciliation Mediation and Arbitration, which is the CCMA, today. Workers are demanding a 12% salary increase, while the employers are prepared to lay an offer of 7% only on the table. Joining us this morning is Zanele Sabela from the South African Transport and Allied Workers Union, which is SATAWU. We were also going to have Phakamile Hlbui from the National Union of Metalworkers Union of South Africa, which is NUMSA, but they could not make it. Morning Live, on the other hand, also extended an invitation for this particular interview to SABOA, but they declined and they said they would talk about the matter after the arbitration that's taking place today. All right, nonetheless, let's continue a discussion with Zanele Sabela from SATAWU. Good morning to you, Zanele. Thank you so much for coming through.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Let's just talk about the impact yesterday. Are you happy as to how things went?
Yes, we're very happy about how things went yesterday. It's a pity that it was very successful at the expense of the thousands of commuters who use buses daily. And for that, we are very sorry.
All right. Negotiations hit a deadlock on Tuesday night. Take us through what was said at that particular meeting before we talk about what's likely to happen today.
Okay, so there was no meeting on Tuesday. We were supposed to meet on Tuesday, but then, so there's been a long process that's gone on. Negotiations started in January. There were 3 sittings of a week each. So all in total, we negotiated for 15 days and still couldn't agree. We went to the CCMA. Nothing happened there, and therefore we were given a certificate to go on strike. This happened on the 16th of March. And then in this bargaining council, you have to observe a cooling off period of 30 days. We observed that it elapsed on Sunday, this past Sunday, and then on Monday we served them with a 48-hour notice to go on strike yesterday. And so, but then we had pre-arranged a meeting to take place on Tuesday. But then because we served them with notice to go on strike,
the meeting couldn't go ahead.
Yeah,
so you've been to the CCMA before.
We have been.
Mediation is taking place at the CCMA this morning. Are you hopeful that things will go your way?
We are hopeful because the CCMA at this point now is getting involved for the public good. So it's a section 100 and 150 of the Labour Relations Act. This is why they are intervening, and we're hoping that with their help today and tomorrow, we'll be able to reach some sort of settlement. And we're hoping, because the strike was so successful, that maybe employers now know exactly what they're dealing with and they'll be willing to come to the table.
Exactly what I wanted to ask you as to what makes you so hopeful this time around that they may change their mind, because you looking for 12%, they're offering only 7%.
Well, like I said, thousands of commuters were left stranded yesterday. I don't know how the employers think of commuters, but commuters are effectively their clients. And you should, as a business, you should care about your clients. They haven't shown that care, and so much so there were people still complaining yesterday that they didn't know that there was strike, although this has been in the media from our side since last week. So in terms of those notices, they only put them up yesterday at bus stops to say there is no transport today, but which I think they should have done from a week ago, so that to let them know that this is happening. So we are hopeful because of that, but besides that, we are intensifying the action on the ground. There were places where yesterday it wasn't as effective as we would have wanted it to be. So in KZN particularly, and in Mpumalanga, but today we are intensifying the action, and therefore we're hoping that seeing that will motivate them.
All right, and you were seated here already when I was talking to our reporter Mangoba Mkunu in Soweto, and commuters are frustrated.
Yes.
It's 8 o'clock. Some of them are not yet at work. And what frustrates them even more is the financial implications that this has on them. Do you perhaps know if they'll be compensated for their weekly or monthly tickets?
Well, some companies have actually said that they will be compensated for the time that they've missed. But then it's not like bus owners do not know this. This has happened. We had a devastating strike last year, and you would have thought that coming into these negotiations that their attitudes would have softened, and they were like, it's been said like over 20% of the population uses buses to commute to and from work and for leisure purposes.
That's a lot.
It is a lot of people, and because of that, then they should be willing to come to the table. And we actually think, because they get government subsidies, we actually think they can afford it, but they're just not willing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because, sorry, I wanted to ask, I mean, as you said, the negotiations have been taking place since when? Since January. Are the employers negotiating in good faith from your observation as the union representing the workers?
No. They're very static. They just want to keep things as they are. We are also trying to transform the industry. There are very peculiar conditions in this industry. Like take night shift. The basic conditions of employment says night shift is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next morning. In this industry, it's 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. the next morning. We have situations where you, on a long haul trip, you have two drivers that start the trip. The one is driving, the other one is waiting to take over when the other is fatigued. They say the one that's not driving, when the trip commences, is not on duty.
So there's a whole lot of
There's a whole lot of issues, and they need to change. We cannot keep that going on.
All right. Zanele, let's wait and see what transpires at the CCMA today. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
Thank you so much indeed to Zanele Sabela. She is the spokesperson for the South African Transport and Allied Workers Union, which is SATAWU. As I said, will await the outcomes of the CCMA meeting that's currently taking place today. All right, it's 24 minutes after 8 o'clock here on Morning Live. It's time now for your sports news. In Nkosazana yethu yezemidlalo isekhona. Sawubona Valen.